Good morning, everyone. Our lecture today is about past tenses, the past simple and past continuous tenses. I have made a comparison between the past simple tense and the past continuous tense. This will be so useful for you. So let's start with the formula for past simple tense, which consists of subject plus verb with the ed, or maybe irregular verb. For example, I finished. In the negative, I didn't finish. In the question, did you finish? So what's about past continuous formula? It consists from subject plus was or were plus verb plus ing. So for example, I was running, she was running, she wasn't running. This is in negative. And in the questions, was she running? Okay, and you can replace or make another questions. For example, where was she running, for example, okay, or what was she doing, okay. The second point, what do we express by using past simple tense? We use it to express a finished action in the past, okay. So finished action in the past. For example, Columbus discovered America in 1492, okay. What's about past continuous tense? It can be used to express an activity in progress before and after a time in the past. For example, we were doing some exercise, okay. So الفرق بين ال past simple وال past continuous إنه هنا فد action منتهية بالباست، وهنا ال past continuous لا، دا ينطينا فد activity بدت بالماضي وانتهت بالماضي، okay. We don't know when، ما نعرف احنا شو وقت. okay. Third point, it express actions which follow each other in a story, okay. يعني شنو؟ يعني تتابعية، okay. For example, I heard some voices, so I went to the room, for example. So tell a story, action after action. While with the past continuous, we describe these past situations and activities. Description. So the house was looking so cozy, a fire was burning. So this is kind of description, okay. Point 4, with the past simple we express a past state or habit. For example, when I was a child, we lived in a small house. So we use it for what? Talk about our past habits. Okay. What's about the past continuous? This is very important point. It expresses an interrupted past activity or incomplete activity in the past. The same case with the present continuous. We use it to express an interrupted activity, okay. What does mean interrupted? يعني بيها cut, okay. اكو فشي مو complete, incomplete, ما كامل in the past. So for example, I was having a bath when the phone rang, okay. Now what's about this point? Express past actions as simple complete facts. So it's for example, it's past facts, okay. With the past continuous, give past activities time and durations. So we are talking about the timing, okay, when it was happened, sorry. Okay. What about the time expressions or adverbs that can be used with the past simple and past continuous equally? We have last night, 2 years ago, yesterday, when I was young, for example, okay, last week. All of these expressions or time expressions can be used with both tenses, past simple and past continuous. Now what's about the other tense of past perfect? I have made a comparison too with both these tenses because it will be so useful for you, as I said. Now, what's about past perfect? The formula of past perfect: subject plus had plus the past participle of the verb. For example, I had seen him before. With the negative, I hadn't seen him before. With the questions, where had you seen him before? Okay. With the past simple, you know it. This this formula. الصيغة مالته تعرفوا هاي قدامكم نفس المقارنة اللي قبل بساعة. Okay. Point number 2, use to look back to a time in the past and refer to an action that happened before then. So يعني شنو المعنى هنا؟ إنه ال past perfect something very old in the past، يعني قبل ال past symbol. Okay. And the past symbol to express a finished action in the past. Look at this example with this point. She was crying because her grandmother had died. Okay, so look, this is very old action, older than the past symbol. Third point, verbs tell a story in a different order. While with the past simple, verbs tell a story in a chronological order. So what does this mean? يعني احنا ويا ال past perfect we have two past events or two past actions، بس شنو ممكن نحكيها differently. Okay, one action is different from the other action. بينما بال past simple no, there is a connection between the first action and the second action and the third action. Okay, now what's about the time conjunctions or the same as time expressions? These time expressions or adverbs يعني طلاب الظروف الزمانية والمكانية اللي ممكن تستخدم ويا ال past perfect or ال past simple. So with the past perfect we have after, as soon as, until, when, and so many. And with the past simple, as you know, yesterday, last week, 3 days ago, when, the same when. Now, with the finally, the actions with the past perfect seem separate, independent of the action or completed before the second action. While with this past simple tense, we have the first action lead into the other, or one action caused the other to happen. So what does this mean? As the same as I said, that with this point, إنه one action is separate from the other action. For example, we stayed up until all the guests had gone. Okay, so انتبهوا إنه هذه ما لها دخل بهذه. بينما هنا with the past simple, when I hear the news, I burst out crying. Okay, so this action lead to this action. Well, here there is no or weak connection between this action and the other action. Okay. Now all of these tenses in active. What's about the passive? We have these formula in the passive, past simple and the passive. We use, as you know, that with the passive we are concentrate or we have a focus on the object rather than the subject. That's why we started with the object. Okay, and we ignore or maybe sometimes introduce the subject by using by the agent. Okay, so with the passive in the past simple, we started the passive with object plus was or were plus past participle. With the past continuous, we use the object plus was or were plus being plus past participle, and the past perfect object plus had been plus past participle. You should memorize it, I think, because it is so useful for you in order to distinguish between the active and the passive. Okay, حاولوا تحفظون هاي الفورمولا حتى تميزون بين الactive and the passive. And thank you very much. If you have any questions about this lecture, you can just write a comments or something, or maybe email me on my Google account or Google Classroom account. Thank you very much.